Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic slash non-classic. This is episode number 377 and Doubleshot number 301. Two Batgirl trades. Well, Batgirl and another Batgirl trade. Two different Batgirl trades, okay? First up, it's Batgirl and the Birds of Prey, Volume 1, Who is Oracle? By Julia and Shauna Benson. I think these two are sisters or cousins. I don't really know. With artwork by Claire Rowe and Rogue Antonio. I think that's how you pronounce the person's name. Now, this particular storyline, well, first I started basically with now this contains the first 6 issues of the current series and its Rebirth one-shot. Oh, I should point out something about this cover. The way it looks like it's kind of like you have Huntress basically having her mouth hanging wide open, and Batgirl's like, "What do you want?" He's like, "Ah," and Black Canary is like, "Would you two just do something already?" It's kind of like expecting her just to kiss or something like that, which, by the way, in one of the issues, Black Canary kisses Batgirl on the cheek in the book. I'm like, okay, I don't really know why they thought that was a good idea, but okay. And here's, now, they do throw in some stuff interesting, though, that's normally associated with the Birds of Prey. Like the fact that their base operations is a clock tower, which is referred to as the Watchtower, but technically, yeah, it's the clock tower. The original base operations that the Birds of Prey had in the original series when Chuck Dixon was running the series, well, when it was a spy series for working with a group team. And yes, the original members, well, when it became a group, were Barbara Gordon, Diana, the one in the comic book was Diana Laura Lance, this one's Diana Drake Lance, and of course Helena Bertinelli, aka Huntress. Now, they do bring up the fact that Barbara Gordon, they brought it back into this continuity, the fact that she was definitely Oracle for a very brief period of time. She was Oracle before she went back to being Batgirl. And the fact that the guy who really is Oracle, which is some new guy that the writer just created, he's a Batgirl fanboy. He's a huge fan of Batgirl. He's been following her since the start of her career. He has no battering. He has, like, I believe what looks like her previous, one of her old costumes. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah. They spent the first half of the miniseries trying to find out exactly who is Batgirl. Yeah, that's what they do for the first half of the storylines. Figure out who is Oracle. That's what they do for the first 3 issues. They find out who is Batgirl. Now that who's Oracle. Yeah. That's what they do for the first 3 issues. They actually resolved the plot thread of who is Oracle. Let's see if I can find it here. The Oracle Cave, as well, I might call it that. Yeah, and this kind of looks like an old Batgirl costume. I think this might be her first official costume. I don't really know. It's just a theory. What do you guys think? It doesn't look like this costume that was used during Gail Simone's run. No, it might be one of her other costumes. It's not really stated exactly which costume it is because, well, Barbara Gordon went through several different costumes as Batgirl. Yeah. Oh, I gotta show this out. Yeah, this is a new costume that Black Canary wears. Yeah, this is new. This right here. Yeah, this is her Rebirth costume, which, hooray, she keeps the fishnet stocking, something that she had been missing. But thanks to her Soul House, she got the fishnet stockings back. That was torn, but yeah, she got the fishnet stockings back, and she gets to show off some of her, well, cleavage, something she was known for doing in the classic Black Canary costume. Huntress, her costume is similar to, well, it's the right color scheme. Though the hood is actually new. That's something that when if you were looking at Helena Bertinelli the way she looked in pre-Flashpoint, yeah, for some reason I am not sure exactly why this is. Now, Helena Bertinelli, when you look at her, she looks like she's black, even though that she's also Italian. But Italians could look like this. I don't know. It's just that she looked very, very white. That's how she originally was depicted. And then when she showed up in this continuity, I guess what people thought she was when she first showed up. They thought she was Misty Knight because of the way she dressed. Yeah, they thought she was Misty Knight, but nope, it's Helena Bertinelli. Her alias Matron, which is actually her code name that she used during the Grayson series when she was a supporting character in that book. And yes, she and Dick Grayson did make out. Her time with Spyro is referenced in here, but as for Spyro itself, yeah, Spyro does not make an appearance. Batman makes an appearance, and it kind of seems like that they're making Jim Gordon a supporting character in this book because this is actually the one book Jim Gordon appears a lot in. In the case of the other Bat books, he doesn't appear that much. I mean, he appeared a few times in Batman during the first arc, and maybe a couple times during the most recent arc of the series. But yeah, now Helena Bertinelli in the last issue gives the best line of the whole series, and of course the whole thing with the crime. Yeah, there's also crime families in here as well. She tells Commissioner Gordon, she tells him, take. What's the guy's name? It's mentioned in the last issue. This is actually the most badass line of the whole entire storyline. Let's see. Where is it? It says, Commissioner, arrest Santo Casimiro for the murder of the Bertinelli family. And he says, with pleasure. And this is Fence. This is the Fence you're looking for. She's a murderer too. She deserves to be locked up for what she's done. Yeah. I got to admit, basically, the writers giving her that awesome line, like telling the commissioner to arrest the guy who they were protecting throughout most of the storyline for the murder of the Bertinelli family, that is actually really nice. So, yeah, some stuff basically. So, they bring in the fact that she comes from a mobster family. That's great. Because, here's the thing. Tim Seeley and Tom King didn't develop her that they never went into her background that much. They were very vague. The only thing they bring up the fact she's Italian. That's it. Now some Italians can be sort of this light-skinned, but normally she was picked to be very white despite being very Italian. Yeah. But yeah, this is a very good storyline. I highly recommend it. If you're a Batgirl, if you're a fan of Birds of Prey, I do recommend this. When this series was announced last year, coming out, some people were hoping that Gail Simone might be taking the book. I was hoping Chuck Dixon because he's the one who created the Birds of Prey, so why not? But the writers, believe it or not, I had actually never heard of these two before, and apparently they were writers from the series The 100 from the CW. Okay. And like other series I review from DC Review, this is actually a series released monthly. No, seriously, this is a series released monthly, and it's only released like 10 issues so far. But it's really good. I give this a 9 out of 10. This one's amazing. Next up is Batgirl, Volume 1, Beyond Burnside by Hope Larson, who's the writer for all the 6 issues in here. And Raphael Albuquerque, who I think just does the opening story and then they change it. This is just a continuation of what the previous writers did at the end of their run. Well, here's some things they don't do. The Hope doesn't do. She doesn't have overemphasis on text messaging or Twitter. No heavy technology stuff. They really toned that down because when the previous creative team started that on their run with issue 35, they got heavily criticized for it. And also, for some reason, I have no idea why, they decided to relaunch the numbering of the graphic novels. Now, I had heard a rumor they were planning on relaunching the Batgirl title itself after Gail Simone left. Which, by the way, if you notice when you read this, there is no references to Gail Simone run at all. There's references to the previous run of the series, but not the Gail Simone. No. For some unknown reason, the editors don't bother to reference her run. They probably think, oh, her run was too dark. They'll make it light. Here's the thing. Gail Simone's run was awesome. A lot of people can say that. Yes. Mostly everybody who I've talked to who have read Gail Simone's run for Batgirl, they thought was really amazing, with the exception of the 2 issues done by Ray Fox. But yeah. This story is just her, besides her going global only lasts 1 story arc, and this, I should point out though that this story arc takes place after this one. Yeah, it is pointed out because she comes back afterwards, so, and also the first arc of Nightwing takes place at the same time as this particular arc itself. Excuse me, because she's traveling about during the course of this story arc, which is nice, the fact they do keep continuity strict when it comes to Barbara Gordon herself. Also, I forgot to mention, apparently Dick Grayson's a very touchy subject, so it's like, apparently she gets angry anytime anybody mentions Dick Grayson. I don't know why, but okay. But this storyline is just her going to, well, Japan, Hong Kong, South Korea, and Shanghai. Yep. Just to meet this woman called Fruit Bat, who apparently was someone like her. It's the 1930s and 40s version of Batgirl, and she wants to learn some new moves. Okay, and her company, Gordon Clean Energy, that's actually referenced a few times both in the Batgirl and Birds of Prey book, and that's referenced a few times in here. So at least they keep nods to that. But the company is referenced. But it's not like in your face about it. You don't see logos of Gordon Clean Energy all over the place. One thing that would have been nice though, if they would have like revealed it, like if the company had a board of directors and her father sits on the board of directors, that would be actually pretty nice. I mean, he's a commissioner of the GCPD and he wanted to get some public recognition, so why not put the commissioner of the GCPD on the board? Yeah, but not much of the company was revealed because the company came completely out of nowhere during the last arc of the previous volume. Yeah. And she handed updated operations to, of all people, Luke Fox, the son of Lucius Fox, the guy who's the CEO of Wayne Enterprises. Yeah. I think he's the one who's running Gordon Clean Energy because it's referenced in that book that, Batgirl Birds of Prey, that, she doesn't run day-to-day operations. She's the owner of the company, but she has to run day-to-day operations. But yeah, that's how she gets her money. So that's how she gets her money to go travel about to these countries, which is fine. And she has a one character. Let's see, what is his name? I think his name is Kai. Yeah, he's actually just a supporting character who appears for this one arc. And as far as I know, they never see each other again afterwards. Also, there's this girl called the Sailor, because she's just a girl in a sailor suit with a domino mask. Let's see if I can find her here. Let's see. Where is she? She appears throughout this whole story arc, because they want to go... Yeah, here she is. Yeah. Yeah, this is the girl I'm talking about. I think they call her the Sailor. Yeah. I think that's what she's referred to as, the Sailor. Let's see here. Yeah, oh, she's referred to as the schoolgirl. Yeah. And there's a bit of MMA in here as well. This is just an okay story arc to read. And of course she goes back to Burnside right afterwards. Basically the main arc gets wrapped up in issue 5. 6 is just a standalone issue they just threw in here because, well, they want to put 6 issues in this trade, so they threw in an issue that's probably... I think that if you read issue 6, it kind of feels like an epilogue because it's her flying on the plane, teaming up with Poison Ivy. First time they've actually done a team up since the annual number 2, I believe it was, of Batgirl. Yeah. But this is just pretty decent for what it was. It's actually a bit of a lower tier book. Unlike Batgirl and Birds of Prey, which is awesome. This one, it's okay. It's not terrible. Unlike, let's say, Justice League. Don't worry, I'm going to get the Justice League. I have the trade. I'm going to read it and then review it later. I want to be nice this trade. The artwork is actually pretty okay. It's Raphael Albuquerque, who was the artist during Ann Nocenti's run for Catwoman. So, at least, when I heard the name Raphael Albuquerque, that is a name I'm familiar. I'm not really all that familiar with him, but I know the name because I'm familiar with his work. Hope Larson, not familiar with her work. This is actually the first book I've actually read her. This is actually the first book I've actually read with her name on it. And currently, I think like Batgirl Birds of Prey, this book is also monthly, so it will take a while before the next trade comes out. Unlike, let's say, books like Batman, Superman, Action Comics, those books are bi-monthly, and you probably see those come out with like another volume 2 pretty soon. This one will probably take a while before volume 2 comes out, but starting here is pretty interesting nonetheless. But start next arc, she's back in Burnside. Yep. So we go back to what's. It's kind of basically staying status quo. Though the character Frankie, who appeared in the previous volume, she disappeared in here a couple times, but she's back being a supporting character again. Okay. Yeah, and it's a little more interesting than with the previous creative team. Nothing against the previous creative team, just that I think a lot of people miss Gail Simone. But the only reason why I still read Batgirl, because I'm a completist and I like the character. That's the only reason I read it. I'm gonna get this an 8.5 out of 10. It's actually okay. Alright, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which I have 2 more Rebirth trades to review. Those 2 are 7 and 8, basically. So basically, as of this episode, I reviewed 8 Rebirth trades. Excuse me. Next episode, there's going to be 2 more. One of them is Justice League. I won't reveal what the other one is. I'll reveal that in the next episode. Okay. Next episode would be episode 377 and Doubleshot number 302. Okay. But until then, I will see you there. Bye.